The offseason is official. So we have semifinals of the Champions Cup. We have runners-up of the Challenge Cup, Summer Cup runners-up, semifinals in the playoffs, record 4 points away from the Shield, record wins. How successful would you say this season was? The fans said 19% said it was a big success, 60% said it was just a success, and then 21% said it fell short of expectations. Ruby, what do you think?
I don't know what's going on with those 21%. They did amazing. Like if you consider how many games they played, you consider like while they were like in international break, like during the Olympics, they had like to bring other players and like these players like really worked their butt off this season. So for me, it's a successful season. I agree with the 60%. They did really good. Like I was saying earlier, like we really have to look back at all the things they've done. They're breaking a lot of like records, a lot of firsts for them. So I do believe this was a successful season for Gotham.
Yeah, definitely nothing less than a success. I mean, the track record speaks for itself, beating all previous records from the club, even just like attendance records for fans and stuff. Like that's been incredible to see, just the ambience of Red Bull Stadium, how much the fans have gathered around the team and supported them. So I think as not just a winning and losing perspective, I think overall the team culture, the team environment, and the team perspective across the league has really improved and increased, and it's a joy to watch.
As far as expectations go, my expectations of this team now, given the investments, the players that they have, I expect this team to win something during the season. The preseason cup doesn't really count. But I would, whether it's the Shield, whether it's the Cup, whether it's the Summer Cup, whether it's the CONCACAF Champions Cup, which we're still in, so there's still a chance for that. But I expect this team to get something out of this season. So on that part, it's just a little bit below expectation. Obviously, we can win the Champions Cup. However, this season was remarkable. Obviously, the turnout from the fans was amazing. Getting 17,000 for that playoff game was just amazing. The players deserved every bit of that. This season, people may not understand how good this season was. Any other season but two, this would have won the Shield. And this is like the third highest point total or the fourth highest point total of any team in any season for this league. So they were amazing. They lost like 4 games over an entire season, which is craziness for this club. 2 seasons ago, we won 4 games. I think this was a success. Maybe not a huge success just because I wanted 1 trophy. So that's maybe where it's a little bit low. But other than that, I think this was an amazing season. We were going halfway through the season with 14, 15 players on the injury list. In the Summer Cup final, we had retired players starting because we had lost so many players, and it's just crazy. It's with the Olympics and all that stuff, players come back and in and out. I think this was a successful season from top to bottom, and shout out to Yael Averbuch. She's done an amazing job of keeping this team together. And this, like last season, felt like just getting some of the pieces in place. And now it feels like the vision is taking shape. And I think if this stays on track, this is going to be a successful team year and year and year after year. For me, again, it's a success. I'm with that 60% there. The 21% are probably Yankees fans if they don't win the championships. Off with everybody's heads. But yeah, it was awesome. Anything else to add for the successful season?
No, that's it.
Okay. Looking ahead, Judy on X said, looking towards next year, who stays, who goes, and who do we add? Will Midge Purse be back in Gotham? Let's look at some of the players who are on their last season at Gotham, and their decisions are going to be made on those contracts very, very soon. And we'll just go say whether we think they have a high, medium, or low chance of being re-signed. And the first one is Midge Purse.
I'm going to say high.
You think it's high that she's resigning?
Yeah, I really think she does because of what she did last year for Gotham. She was MVP player of the championship game. For all those reasons, I think she's going to be back. It's unfortunate that she wasn't able to play this season, but we know of her potential and we know what she can do.
would say medium only because I don't think it's a question of whether we want her. I wonder if it's whether she wants to be here. Not in terms of like, I can't
Yeah.
say anything of like, I don't know what her like personal experience must be with the club. I'm sure it's great, but I know after coming from an injury like that, she'll probably want to consider her best opportunity for herself, where she might feel the most comfortable. If there's like a player or a coach that she wants to work with, perhaps that's away from New York. I think it'll depend. I think the ball will completely be in her court for that. So that's the only reason I'll put her at a medium.
I will say low. The reason I'm saying low is that we all seen the offseason official. We knew that she wanted to get more money
Yeah.
before resigning or finishing her season here with Gotham. And a lot of teams, she says, offered her a lot of money. I don't know how much this injury takes down that offers that she could have been getting,
Yeah.
but I'm looking at the way Gotham is built now with all these national team players. Contracts are going to be going up. I'm sure their bonus structure is going to be hitting very soon. So I don't know if Gotham is going to have the money to pay her the money that she can get elsewhere. So I
Yeah.
think on that part, I think she's going to go chase money at that point. And I also think that Ryan is eating into her spot for minutes. I think Ryan is a rising player. We have her until like 2026. It might be in Midge's best interest to go chase money somewhere else. I'm sure there are
Yeah.
teams like maybe Houston, which can throw money around because they have a lot of money. Maybe a place that she wants to be. But
Man, Gary, why do you have to be so logical? I want her to stay. But I see all those points and I'll be like, yeah, probably that's
yeah,
what's going to happen.
for the record, I want Midge Purse for life. So there you go. So next up is Michelle Betos. Thoughts on Betos?
I think low for me. We haven't really seen her play. And I think the bar has gone up since we got Berger. So I think we need a young, talented player.
Yeah, the question from James was, will we be looking for any new goalies? I know that is probably somewhat not serious, but I think Gotham's not going to carry four keepers into next season. They don't
No.
have the amount of competitions that they have this season. I think that Betos is probably on the way out, unless, I mean, we know Cassie Miller can start. So does one of the expansion teams take a shot at her? And I think the question mark for me is Abby Smith.
Mm-hmm.
She showed that she could start in this league on any team. And I think all these, again, the expansion team, Boston, should probably put in a huge bid for her to get her. Now she's back and healthy. Whether she stays or not, that's up in the air too. I would say low,
Definitely
but
low.
I think, yeah, definitely low. Yeah. All right. Then we got the McCall Zerboni, high, low, or medium.
I'm going to go with, well, in terms, I don't know how to put it in words, but I think medium. Medium because I think she kind of like fallen into that role where you're a leader, you have a great pep talk, you've been a captain for the team, and now her role is more into like a game changer to come into the games and try to like do something. It would be medium for me on with Zerboni.
Yeah, I definitely agree. She has such a veteran leadership, and that veteran experience in the locker room is so invaluable. So I think it'll depend a lot on who we resign, who we don't, and what money I think is kind of like I think available, I guess is the right word. But I'd say about a medium for her.
I had McCall low last year, but she wanted to be here and she stuck around and she was doing all the press events and she was just hanging around the team and she wants to be here. And you can't have too many McCall Zerbonis on the team. A veteran leader who's won the NWSL championship 4 times. I think medium for her. If she wants to be here and the team has a spot, I don't think she's going anywhere.
Wait, she
And
has 4 championships? I've been
Yep.
saying 6. Dang,
She-
I've been wrong.
she's got 4. Lynn's got 4.
Okay, 4 each. I thought it
Yep.
was, I don't know why I thought it was 6. Anyway.
Indeed. All right, so let's move over to, this is going to be a tough one. Mandy Freeman.
Freeman. For me, it's going to be high with Freeman. I think she likes it here. And now with how she's been performing lately, I think they'll like her to stay.
I think medium for myself, only because, again, another like veteran player with a lot of experience. I think she's clearly proven in this game and the whole season that she like continues to be a solid, consistent player who is like exceptional against some of the like best attacking players in the league. I think it'll depend a lot on, like you said, Ruby, like what money we have available and where she kind of like falls. Because I know with the signing of Carter recently, there's more competition for those fullback positions. So
Yeah.
unless they want to put her back to a center back position, but I mean, Davidson and Son have been so great together that I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Medium because I got high hopes, and I think Mandy is the most Gotham player on the roster. She
Yeah.
fits everything, and this league was built on players like Mandy Freeman, who stuck through all the low times with this club and kept playing along. And I think she's playing some of her best soccer, and it seems like they found a spark in moving her to outside back, and for her to start over Nice Winger in the playoffs is an amazing feat. So I hope that she does resign because she's probably not going to be that too expensive. I think that's going to be the most daunting thing going into the next season is how much money do we have to pay these players. So I hope that she stays, but I don't know. If they haven't re-signed her so far, that kind of scares me a bit. I don't know. Then the next one is Savava, which I guess we all are going to agree that low, she's gone.
Low to none. Yeah.
Like every once in a while I'll check up like on her, and I looked on like Instagram. It showed that she had like hip surgery in the summer,
Mm.
and she is pregnant now, it looks like. So
Oh, okay.
I
Oh,
think she's
congrats.
well away from football, so consider that off the books. Then this one's tough too. Hyatt.
I like Hyatt,
Hmm.
but like I really like Hyatt, but she hasn't been playing much. I don't think as much as she would like to. For me, on looking at it at her perspective, she's probably gonna be like gone to another team because you want to play. But on the Gotham side, I would say medium. You want to have a great player in the bench, like knowing that she'll perform.
Yeah, I think it's a low possibility that she resigns just because I know she's been in and out of the rotation. She's had different scenarios throughout the season. And I think, like you said, Ruby, like these players 100% should be looking out for what's best for them, for their careers. And I mean, she's at an age where she can still be a definitive part of any team, I think. So if she gets an opportunity to play somewhere else, I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to consider it.
I don't know what her expectations were coming to this team. I mean, my guess is that when she came to this team, she expected to be a second or possibly third string. And she played 17 or 18 games, and when she filled in, she played really, really well. And I think she showed that she can start at any team in this league. So there's another player that could chase money, but obviously we want her here. She seems like a good person, and she's got a great personality, and she seemed to fit in here, and seem to get along with everybody. So I think she's a talent. I think she can play here. But of course, she could start somewhere else. And with Sonnet and Davidson as locked in as the center back pairing, I wouldn't begrudge her if she wanted to go elsewhere. But hopefully she wants to stay. Next one is Maitani Lopez.
Oof. I think it would be a low. I don't think. I don't know. We haven't seen her play much, so it kind of feels like Juan Carlos is not playing her because she's not performing in training. That's my only, like, the only thing I can think of. I don't really think she'll come back next year.
I agree. I think it is quite low, which is unfortunate just because in the games that we have seen her play, like we've seen such great potential. She's such a talented player. She has such a great vision for the game. I mean, for me personally, it'd be kind of painful to see us lose a player like this, but we've talked about it before, and I think I mentioned it where it's like you have players like she and Zerboni, Martin, who are just so good in that midfield position where there's just so much competition and it's going to be tough to, I think, for her to break that mold if she hasn't already.
Yeah, I think it's extremely, extremely low. I like Lopez as a player. That goal she scored in was the Summer Cup. Was it the Summer Cup? It was amazing.
Yeah, that was a great goal.
Yeah, and she's a good person and she's a great player, and who wouldn't want to have her on the team, but she wants minutes. She's going to go elsewhere. Just is what it is. And her position is Martin's got that lockdown in the defensive midfield, and now she's like fourth string in center back rotations. She's going to go somewhere else and get minutes. That's what it is. Sheehan, this is a tough one.
I know. It is a tough one because I guess in the Gotham perspective, it should be a high. Like we want to keep her here, but then again, her market value has gone up with this season. Like, she's shown what she's made of, so it will be kind of like another Midge situation. Do you want to stay here or do you want to go chase the money?
Mm-hmm.
I think she's like, I would like to think that Juan Carlos Amorós has put so much trust in her and has really like supported, I think, her development and her potential and just her work from last season to this season. So I hope that she's had enough of a positive and really learning experience so far to want to perhaps maybe not get as much money as she could somewhere else, but understand that this environment and this team will provide her with like an opportunity to compete again for a championship next year and compete for the Shield and compete for these things that she very much is capable of doing.
Yeah, I got extremely low.
No.
She's been here for a while, and she has not had her contract upgraded yet. And they upgraded Ryan's, they upgraded Martin's. She's the only one that hasn't had their contract taken up so far. So there's gonna be teams that are gonna offer her money, and I don't know if Gotham's gonna be able to match it. I think they passed their chance to upgrade her contract.
I would say that if they don't, it would be a big mistake on Gotham's part, just because she's so critical in our midfield, and I think she's such a big reason for our success that I don't know. I think I think we mentioned this like a while back that we were like, if whatever money she wants, give it to her because we need her here.
Yeah, it kills me to say that, and I think I agree with you. That would be my first priority. I just don't know if Gotham's going to do it, and if she's going to want to stick around for the money that Gotham's going to be willing to pay her,
Yeah.
if they haven't done so already. It's a shame because we love Sheehan, and I want to make that T-shirt, that Ryan Martin Sheehan T-shirt, but we'll do that if she gets re-signed.
Okay, there you go.
And next one is Jessica Silva. What do you think of Jessica Silva?
Oof. I feel like she didn't get enough time to play with the team. Like it was something always happened. She'll get injured. She had surgery. Like she was sick. It was a lot for her. So it depends what if Juan Carlos is like willing. Well, she sees her play in training, so he might have a better idea than we do because we only see her on the field. I think for myself, I think it will be a low for Silva.
I would agree. I think she's a really, really great player. I think she's a great game changer. It's just unfortunate in terms of just how much talent we have in the roster that there just might not be any space to retain her.
Yeah, she came in and then had some trouble after she had surgery, then she had an injury, so she never really got to get going here. When she has played, she's looked really, really good. I'm going to say low if Midge resigns, really low. If Midge doesn't resign, maybe a medium, maybe mid there. But I think Gotham is just going to be too stacked to spend money on her as a right winger if Midge and Ryan are both here. I just don't know how that's going to work out. Gotham is losing some players. We are losing Kelly O'Hara and Sinead Farley, which is a big blow to this team. We did miss them, and we could have used O'Hara during these playoff runs. Her veteran leadership would have been amazing. And then just looking ahead in 2026, we are looking at some other big names on the contract ending list, and that is Bruninha, Kaiser, Miller, Neiswanger, Torres, and Abby Smith. So, question from Y, and it says, plan for the front line. The summer signings didn't do as well as Stengel, in their opinion. Ella sacrificed to play wide left, and she and Esther and Rose to play together. But is that supposed to be long term? Is it possible to win this league without an explosive player like Banda, Chawinga, or Rodman? Just so, what's your thoughts on what our attacking front looks like going into next season?
I mean, I think we have a very talented front line. We do not have an explosive player like these other teams have. And I think that's probably missing. Actually, I want to take that back because Esther has been playing that role lately. She's been explosive. She has been going like 110% for this team in the last game. She scored the leading goal in the semifinals. We just need, I guess, someone that will link with her. We need a partner for her to like so they can like kind of like Banda and Marta, how they feed off each other. I think we need something kind of similar.
For me, I think Lynn Williams, Yasmin Ryan, Esther Gonzalez, and Ella Stevens, I think our strongest option for that front line. I think it's tough when you have so many talented forwards and then it's like that rotation, that chemistry, I think is probably what maybe Juan Carlos Summers was like double, triple, like thinking about this lineup for this recent game. But I think we have a solid front line that will be able to compete and carry on into the next season. For me, and that's why I was so like keen on like emphasizing like she and like continuing to stay because I think a lot of like our play, especially with the way that we play in terms of like building and connecting and bringing the ball up is facilitated really well through that midfield section. For me, the forwards, they're going to do their work. They're going to provide that high press and they're going to make mistakes and opportunities happen. For me, my idea of how this team really works well is through that connection and that way that builds up. And I think that's also why Sonnet has been so effective too, right? Where she has this vision, she creates opportunities. So, I mean, I don't know. I diverted a little bit, but I think we've got a strong lineup for that
I
forward
agree.
positions.
Yeah, agree with all that. I'm gonna take that in reverse order. Like, do we need a Shawinga, Banda, Rodman, Smith? No, we have them. And if Midge is back, then we're gonna be totally fine. And Lynn Williams has not gotten healthy this season. She's been injured a lot this season. So if a healthy Lynn Williams is that explosive player, and again, if you get Midge on the other side, I don't think that's going to be a problem. If we lose Midge, then I still think we're going to be okay because I think Ryan has been, I think, player of the season. She's been amazing, and she's a rising player, and she seems like she has no ceiling. I think we're going to be totally fine there as well. And then this is going to be of the season, so you were not here for the postseason awards show, Noella. So curious from question from MVP on Twitter, what has been your most memorable moment of the Gotham season this so far?
Oh man, there's been so many really, really, really good moments. For me, I think I got really emotional seeing just our send off for our Olympic players right before they were going to play. I thought that was a really, really good opportunity to just highlight their individual career paths with Gotham and just be able to. I mean, I can't imagine what it must have been like for those players to in the middle of their season also say, okay, I have to go over to the Olympics and transition into that, have that mindset. And you could see it on their faces, I think, how much it meant for them to not only be competing at the highest league in international play, but be able to go compete on a world stage. For me, that was really, really beautiful to see them really enjoy that moment and be able to compete in that game.
Yeah, especially like with all the expectations they had going into this Olympics with a new coach. So yeah, that's crazy. But I think for me, the most memorable moment of Gotham this season, I think, was beating Orlando at home. That was amazing. And the second one was the first playoff game at Red Bull Arena. It was just electric.
Yeah, I agree with all that. It basically shows the ambition of this club and that things are going in the right direction. To see all those national team players showing off and adding a couple more, and it was amazing. And obviously the playoff game was just incredible. But for me, it's a little moment. It was the moment where Ella Stevens scores against Chicago, and she turns around, she starts kissing the badge and running a quarter way around the stadium, just celebrating. And Yael mentioned this in the ESPN article that I think Jenna wrote. That moment was something that validated what she's been working on behind the scenes with Gotham. Is just players that come here, and she was only here for what, a month or two, maybe at that point, and she's running around kissing the badge and happy that she's here and celebrating with this new club. And that's the kind of culture and atmosphere and the kind of teammate that you want, a player that's so invested in being here. And Ella just elevated her game. She elevated us. And it's like that like moment signifies what Gotham is building here. So that was kind of my moment of the season. And then there was me missing a penalty at the stadium. So,
Oh my God.
in front
Anyone
of
has
everybody.
video of this, please send it in.
Please.
We need
Yes.
we need footage.
Yeah, there's that. So this is another moment of the season that I think was interesting was the game against Frasers. And I said when Gotham scored those 13 goals, it's something may have unlocked in this team and just the way they were able to take the momentum from that game and turn it around. And Rollercoaster RJ on Blue Sky did the math and said that 21 of the goals scored in our 29 goal differential was done after the Frasers Whip game.
Wow.
So we went from scoring 1.23 a game to 2.8 a game. Incredible turnaround. So those summer tournament really did a thing for this team, and hopefully just take that momentum into the future. Now, from Julian Chaz says, what position should Gotham look to increase their depth at?
Oof. This is a great question.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, on paper, this team should be like, we don't need anybody else. But I mean, we had a successful season too. So what are we missing? That's the real question here. What are we missing in this team? I don't think we need more players because we have the players here. I don't know what has to change though within them. I think it's the mentality. I don't know if it's like something like blocking them from like not going all the way, but honestly we can't complain about this season. I think they gave us a really great season, like you just mentioned right now. Like after that game, it unlocked something in them and they just started like picking up momentum. And I just hope that they take this momentum and just bring it into the next year. Because if they go the direction that they're going, I think they're going to be very, very successful next season as well.
What do you think, Noel? What's this team need? Does he have any needs?
I don't have a general wish list, although I am really curious to see, depending on, I'm really, really like watching what Zerboni decides to do and what Sheehan decides to do. Because as I kind of like explained before, I think this team really plays through that midfield and really creates a lot of opportunities and likes to keep possession, which is, I think, something really important. I think depth wise, I know we said that Lopez would probably be a low chance, but if we had a different type of midfielder that we could potentially have as a second string, even a third string, just to add some more depth, because when we had that lull of injuries, we need to be able to be confident in the players that we're kind of like picking and plugging in. But I would generally agree overall with Ruby that we have a solid team here. Like semifinals, you can't complain about that. And the performances they've had in all the competitions overall has been really, really good. I think it'll be a chemistry question of, can this team continue to grow chemistry, continue to really understand themselves on the field? And I think it's just a matter of time before they come back and they repeat as champions.
Yeah, agree with all that. My general wish list is to try to keep this team together as much as possible. That's my general wish list. Now, what I think this team needs is a player that can play the final ball. That Sheehan is an incredible player. She sets the tempo, she sets the tone. We're missing a little bit from that position of playing in a final ball. Esther thrives on good service, and she hasn't been getting the best service. When she gets service, she puts it in the back of the net. Simple as that. So here's what I'm going to lose like half the audience. Okay, I still think Jenna Nice-Longer is a 10. I'm telling you, I still think that. I know she's on the national team left back, but a couple games ago, she was playing up high in the 10, and she nearly got Ryan through, and she played another ball through. I know she has the vision, and I think that Gotham should try her. Try her as a number 10.
Mm-hmm.
Try it. Give it a shot. So she's doing the week. Yeah.
I have to agree with you, especially now that she has that defensive experience. It will be really good for someone playing up higher. I think a great example would be Lynn Williams. She's a great attacker with the defensive mindset, and I think, and I've mentioned this before too, Nice-Longer is she's in defense with an attacking mindset. So imagine just putting her now up higher where she doesn't have to really worry and like go like back, because right now I feel like she gets higher, but she has to like keep like pretty much have a set of eyes behind her back of her head, because like someone like runs before her, like it's a lot of running for her. But imagine her not really have to worry about that. There's someone else in that position that takes care of that. She, I think she'll be really explosive in the front line. So I have to agree with you, Gary.
Ooh, that's surprising. I was surprised. I think anybody would agree with me. What about you, Noelle? You agree with me?
I'm a little more hesitant. I'm a little more hesitant. Not because I don't think Jen is capable or has that potential or is talented enough to play. I just think that switch of mentality would take a little bit of time, and sometimes when you do have a player that has that midfield experience and can play, that's sometimes like the perk of putting them. I mean, as you know,
Yeah.
like putting them in that wing back position, full back position, so that like you
Yeah.
get an extra attacker to go and provide. I don't know. I mean, listen, Juan Carlos Amaros has definitely shocked us before, so maybe he will again
Yeah.
with this. Maybe he'll listen in and he'll be like, yes, this is it.
I also have to say she's a fast learner. I mean, look at her like coming into the national team. She looked like a veteran out there. I don't know. I think she has a really great potential of being a great striker. Just saying.
So, since you were not here for the award show, Noella, Rose Lavelle Stan Rosh asked, "Who was your team MVP?"
Ooh.
For me, it has to be Berger. I really, really, really was really happy with how she came into the season, how she's developed, how she closed out the season. I can't think of a more. And I think sometimes it's interesting. I was also talking about this earlier today in a meeting, that we overlook sometimes our goalies so frequently. Like sometimes when we put out the lineup, we're like, oh, we're going to play a 4-2-3-1. And then you're like, you're going to play without a goalie, and you won't say, oh, I'm a 1-4-2-3-1. So I just think she's been such a cornerstone of the team. I think also in terms of, for me, I know she was given first team for the league, but she was actually also kind of my most underrated player in terms of there's so much star potential on this team, on this roster, that I think it's her work and the steadiness that she provides this team has been, I wouldn't say underrated by the team itself. Like anyone who watches our games knows how incredible she is. But I would say like overall, maybe I'm not sure she'll be considered as goalie of the league, but I hope she is, because she's been playing lights out.
Who did you have, Ruby?
Oh my God. Like
Right?
I had one player, and then I'm like, but Sana did great as well.
Yeah.
LaBelle has been like killing it. Then Ryan, and I'm like, I don't know who to pick to be the MVP of this team, because they all have been doing so great. But oh my God, if I have to give it to someone, I think it's gonna have to be not LaBelle, Sonnet, because she doesn't get love. Like someone needs to like give her flowers. So gonna give it to Sonnet.
Question was asked by Rose Lavelle Stan, so of course it's Rose Lavelle. Of course. I know how to serve the audience. Okay. I think I had Ryan. I think it was Ryan or Sonnet. Who knows? There was like 7 of them. But so quickly, who is your most underrated on this squad?
Martin, for me, the most underrated. I think she will. I don't know. Emma Hayes. You should be looking at Neely Martin.
You know,
Well, as I said before, I thought Berger overall, like if you're not watching from like the team perspective, I think her work this season has been incredible, and I just hope the league understands just how incredible she has been, and gives it that award. I don't know, but if it wasn't her, I would say I think Zerboni also had a really, really strong season, and underrated in the sense that I think sometimes we forget how important that veteran leadership is, how much her experience is, and just still, and for me personally, I think seeing her come back from such a serious injury has also been really, really empowering to see, and see her come out and just continue to play as if it was her first season in the league. So I'm really happy for her and the season she had.
Yeah, I agree with you on McCall and Taryn for coming back from those injuries. They did an amazing job. And yeah, you can never underestimate how much having a player like Zaboni on your roster is a boost for your team. And I think underrated, I'm going with you, Ruby. I think Martin's always underrated. And the problem with the national team is they usually only carry one defensive midfielder, and then they shift other people around. So that spot's going to be very hard for her to get into. But I hope that she does get a look eventually. If she has another season like this season, maybe next season is the one. And last one is most improved. I think we can probably all agree. Ryan is the most improved player on the squad in the league.
Yes.
She's been incredible. Yeah, Ryan is another level right now. And so, any random thoughts before we get out of here? That was a lot.
I know. That was a lot. I don't have any random thoughts for this episode. Do you, Carrie or Noella?
Just happy to be back. It was unfortunate, the conditions, but I'm just happy to talk to you guys and just talk soccer.
Yeah, just a quick shout out to Michelle Kang. Amazing person. For me, like, I don't really know her backstory that much. So I don't know if soccer was something that she did when she was younger or whatever.
Yeah.
But her investment in this sport has been mind-boggling and incredible. Her investment in the sport has just been so incredible. And I think what makes her different than almost every single other person that's invested in this sport is that she's listening. It's rare to see someone who's not just throwing money at something. It's not a charity, but whenever she puts money towards something, I'm giving you this money for this specific purpose because I've been listening and I know this is the issue. This is how we're going to solve this issue. Like, she's putting $2 million towards changing women's soccer cleats, which for so long that the cleats have just been men's cleats just fitted for a woman. So that's could be one of the reasons why women's players have so much ACL injuries. They've made some improvements, but putting $2 million or $3 million, whatever she put in there, towards that is incredible. And that's going to be great for the future of all women soccer players and possibly all women athletes. And she just announced a $30 million investment in U.S. soccer in general. It's going to help all the pipelines. There's going to double the identifying camps that they have. So they're going to be able to find players more. They're going to be able to nurture players more with this money. And it's like $30 million over 5 years. And it's just amazing just to listen to her. And she's very much on point. I'm giving you money for this, 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 and this, and this is how we're going to do it. Just incredible. We're just so lucky to have her investing in this sport.
It is incredible, honestly. And I just want to say, I want to be Michelle Kang when I grow up. That's just amazing how she's helping the women's soccer, women's sports in general grow so much. Like, pretty much all her investments right now have been like women's soccer related. And with this, like, wow. And it will be a great case study how she's designing these everything that she's doing. But specifically for me, a great case study for the cleats that she wants to do for women and see how that affects the ACL injuries.
As a player, Noella, like with cleats themselves, I know like Nike's making cleats that have like a circular design at the forefoot, which allows them to like pivot and not grip in straight up. Like,
as opposed to the triangle.
Yes, the triangle where it dips in. I do notice some players like slipping when they're pivoting on it, but that's probably a good thing. So it's not like gripping in and turning. So that's probably a good thing. But have you used these cleats before, Noelle?
It was funny because I got myself the IDA turf shoes and I got IDA the bare futsal type shoes, which I actually use when I'm training like on like concrete. Like, so I'm out like with the wall at the parks and stuff and I'm like out there. So I use those shoes. The turf ones I haven't actually gotten to break in just yet because I'm like so comfortable in like, as long as my cleats are circular with like conical like studs, I'm okay with them. But overall, I've really, really liked my experience with the shoes, with the IDA shoes. I have yet to get the cleats just because they're a little hard to find in stores. In person, I don't like ordering it online. But I when I did see her investment, Michelle's and others reach in and put in $2 million into IDA, I was really, really happy because not only is it encouraging this company to continue to facilitate and specifically make shoes for women, it's forcing all the other brands to do the same thing. Like when Rihanna came out with Fenty, like they said, okay, we need to make sure that every brand is coming out with like foundation for everyone. So I think this is an opportunity for all other brands to really like wake up and say, how are we best going to make shoes that are appropriate for female soccer players?
That's a great point.
Yeah, when we started covering this league, if you're investing in this league, it was kind of a charity. You knew you weren't going to be making money on it. There wasn't really a plan. But now when like you hear Michelle Kang talk, she's like, this is a business opportunity. And she'll make that money back eventually. And she's lighting the way. And the $30 million investment, it's said to increase 100,000 new opportunities for women and girls in soccer. It's incredible. We can't thank her enough. So we don't know what the offseason holds for Gotham. We didn't put many episodes up during the offseason last season because it was kind of boring. And the news kind of came all at like one time in like early January. So we might be back. We might cover some new stuff, but we'll see. But we will see you guys all soon. Thank you guys all for listening and sticking with us for all this time.
Yes. Thank you for sticking with us all this season. Kind of feels sad that it's the end of the season, but hey, we always have next year.
Indeed.
I'm wishing everyone a really nice, happy Thanksgiving next week.
Yay, yes. Oh my God, Thanksgiving's next week. That's crazy.
That's crazy. All right, let's go.
Let's go.